Welcome aboard to the OceanEars Podcast, your destination for all things travel. From Disney and Universal to beaches and cruising. It's a great, big, beautiful world out there. Let's get going. Hello, and welcome to the OceanEars Podcast.
Hello.
Caribbean Chuck here with Relaxin' Robin.
Relaxin' Robin, yep. I've been doing some relaxing today. It's been nice.
Did some relaxing all week.
Yeah, that's great.
So,
how are you, Caribbean Chuck?
I'm relaxing Robin. Relaxing
Chuck. Are we switching roles?
Yeah, let's switch roles this week.
Hey guys, I'm Caribbean Chuck.
Do I sound like that? Really?
I don't know. You guys who tell me.
I probably sound like that. It's really sad.
It's not sad. You're great.
Rainy weather today. Not very nice.
Yeah, a little overcast, a little cool for the summer. It was only in the upper 70s today.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Usual. Couldn't go swimming.
No,
well, I could have, but I don't like to go swimming unless it's 80 degrees. Is anybody out there weird like me? You know,
when I was at least 80.
When I was a kid, I'd jump in if it was 30 below, but now I'm like, brr.
Well, yeah, I set the thermostat to 65 and you scream at me, but
I do. Just give me all the covers.
Yeah,
all I need.
I stay hot all the time.
And I stay cold. I'm cold-hearted.
There's a metaphor there somewhere.
Sure. So how's everybody been this week?
They still can't answer you.
No. Please answer me. Talk to me in the comments.
Please,
Somebody keep me company.
Talk to her. Send her a message.
Please.
She's sad. So this is the second video episode.
Yes.
A lot of learning curves.
Yes.
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 You're really good at saying yes.
Yes, we are. I was just wondering, are you trying to show everybody your belly button over there, Caribbean Chuck?
I am. It's nice, isn't it? You can't see my belly button.
He's taking up belly dancing, y'all.
Yeah.
New pastime.
Well, I figure, maybe it'll get a few more viewers if I show a little skin.
Your Toucan Sam there on your shirt.
What's wrong with my shirt?
I love your shirt.
I like my shirt.
Yeah.
It's a comfortable shirt. So do we have any news this week, Robin, by any chance?
Well, we've got a few news things, so let's cut
I've got
to the
one.
news. Oh.
Let's go to the news.
Okay.
And now, the news.
Oh, the news.
All right, news. You go ahead and take the first one, Robin.
Oh, boy.
Relaxing, Robin.
It's my favorite time of year coming up. It's Food and Wine Festival time. Yay! Cue the applause.
Food and Wine Festival.
Yeah, totally late on the applause.
No, you're not getting any applause this week.
Applause. Well, anyway, Food and Wine is about to start in Walt Disney World over at Epcot. The festival begins this year on July 27th and runs through November 18th. So one of the longer festivals, but it is by far the most popular because it is food and wine. Come on, who doesn't love to eat and drink around the world?
Take a drunken trip around Epcot.
Yes.
Do the Epcot crawl.
Do the Epcot crawl. Well, the big news story out about Food and Wine is they have released the menus this week. So,
anything good?
Head on over to OceanEars and take a browse. OceanearsTravel.com will have a direct link in the blog section, and you can peruse the menus. Get real hungry as you look to what's to come.
I want to go do a drunken crawl around Epcot.
You want to drink in every country around the world?
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
There's also the fromage montage is coming back. I don't know if I said
I'm sorry.
Right.
What was that?
It's basically you get it's like a little scavenger hunt eating wise, and you get a little map and you get little things checked off and stamped off on your passport as you eat around the world. And they're all cheese items.
Oh.
And then when you get finished, you get a prize.
Well, the Food and Wine Festival definitely is the most popular of the Epcot festivals.
It sure is. It's the most delicious.
It runs the longest.
Yes.
Has the most stuff.
It does. Food booths are abundant. I will say Flower and Garden is coming in at a close second because they have really upped their game in the last few years.
It was delicious.
But Food and Wine definitely takes the cake still.
What were those things we got at Food and Wine that time?
Oh, the gnocchi.
Gnocchi. Ah.
Yeah, they were delicious.
That is amazing stuff right there.
Yes, very wonderful. So definitely check back with us. Take a look. We'll have some coverage, I'm sure, on OceanEars about the Food and Wine, as well as all things eatery and Disney. All that goes together for us. Some of our favorite things.
All right. What else do we have? Any other news stories?
Well, a news story, yes. Basically an offering. Universal is offering 3 months free on their annual passes. Ooh. Anyway, if you go buy a 12-month pass, you're going to get an extra 3 months. So that's going to be 15 months for the price of 12. Now, there are some restrictions and blackout dates that do apply with the annual passes over at Universal. And you do have to purchase a 2 or 3 park pass. Don't know why anyone would just purchase a 1 park pass over at Universal, but hey, and there's so much to do. But definitely look into that if you are a Universal frequent flyer. Definitely might pay you to get those annual passes.
Well, 3 months free as well. Yes. I mean, that's hard to beat.
It is. So if you think about that, from now, if you go get them now, you can go through next October.
That's pretty cool. That's a good deal.
That's a great price.
That should be deal of the week.
It should be. And if I could sell annual passes, that might be something we look at.
Right. I am ready to go back to Universal very soon.
Yes, I think we should put that on our list there, Caribbean Chuck.
Like before the end of the year.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's go now.
All right. Do you have any other news stories?
That's all I've got, but I know you have one.
I do have one. It's a little quirky, though. I don't know how many people listening are fans of Disney Plus Hawkeye show, but there was a scene in the Hawkeye show regarding Rogers the Musical. Captain Steve Rogers the Musical.
Okay.
Started in the Hawkeye TV show on Disney Plus. Well, Disneyland decided to make this a real thing.
Very cool.
And Rogers the Musical opened last week, on the 7th.
Very cool.
So... yeah, and it's actually getting extremely good reviews. I've heard some people say that they could actually see it being a show on Disney Cruise Lines.
That would be very fitting.
No confirmation there. That's not a rumor. No. I've just heard people say that they could see it going that way.
It would fit, especially with some of the but the Marvel at Sea things that they're doing. That would definitely tie into.
And the fact that the stage production is not a huge setup or a huge deal, it's a pretty modest setup.
Well, it's,
and it's a comedy.
Some of the theaters over in Disneyland, I mean, you're not talking about elaborate setups over there. So
I heard one person who went to it this week, and they said that they actually went twice because they loved it so much the first time.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So it's getting really good reviews.
So Captain America up on stage singing and dancing, huh?
Pretty much, yeah. It's pretty much from Hawkeye on Disney Plus. Exact same show. It's just carried over, and they've made a full production out of it.
Does it follow kind of the story of?
Kind of follows the Avengers story.
Okay. Does it have other Avengers in it?
Yes.
Very cool.
And Nick Thor is there. Thor is there. Yeah. So now you definitely want to see it.
All right, let's go.
Nick Fury has a solo in it.
Nick Fury, has he got the eye patch?
He does have the eye patch.
Okay.
And he gets a solo in it.
Nick Fury. Oh my goodness.
So Nick Fury sings.
Thor sings.
I'm a huge fan of Marvel and all the Marvel shows. You not as much, but you like some of them.
If Thor's there.
Yeah, that's all she cares about.
What about Loki? Is Loki there?
Not sure on Loki.
Like Loki too.
Would you keep it in your pants? Good Lord. This is a family-friendly show.
Yes, it is. Okay. Moving
on.
Let's cut to our main story of the week.
And this week, the main story that we are going to be covering is a very important story for anyone who plans on cruising.
Yes.
We've all been there, got on a cruise ship, really excited for vacation. You get to your room and you have the wrong
choice.
Yes.
You've made a wrong choice.
Yes. So
An error in judgment.
So what cruise ship cabin should you choose on your next cruise vacation? Let's go over all those choices here and now.
So, yes.
So let's talk first about the steerage class.
The steerage class. This isn't the Titanic. There hardly any rats at all.
No, the lowest cabin level that you will find on any cruise line across any fleet is your interior type cabins. Now, those are going to be the ones that typically have no outside view at all. They're not going to have windows or anything like that.
Hardly any rats at all.
No rats to be found. But as times have changed and technology has improved, we do have some interior cabin categories that will afford you a view of some sort.
Well, I would also like to say, let's not give interior a bad name.
No.
We have had interiors ourselves before, and they do have some advantages over some other rooms.
Probably the most of our cruises have been in interior cabins because we are pretty active folks when we are on cruises, and we tend to only sleep and shower in those rooms.
Exactly. If you're one of those people who plans on getting out and about and enjoying the cruise and enjoying the pools and the shows and the dinners, go for an interior.
Cruise has to offer. You really don't need a big fancy room. An interior will do you just fine.
Another thing, if you are one of those people that likes to drink a lot and party all night, go for the interior because there's no sunlight. You can sleep until 3 in the afternoon and won't know the difference between daylight and dark.
That is true. That is very true. If you are a light sensitive sleeper, interiors are good for that reason. You will definitely need to have your phone or some kind of travel alarm clock because he is right. There are no, sunlight, no lights, no nothing to let you know what time of day it is.
We did that once. We slept until 2 in the afternoon just because
I guess we were exhausted.
We were on vacation.
But we had no reason to necessarily get up, so we did not set an alarm, and we woke up, and it was 2 o'clock.
But it was completely dark. There was no way to know that it was daylight outside.
That is true.
So don't knock the interior rooms. Give them a shot. I mean, they do have some advantages over some of the other rooms at a much better price point normally.
Yes. And I will also say that, I mentioned before that, some other views are to be had in interior categories. I've seen across some cruise lines where they would actually have a porthole, not a window, but a very, very small porthole that's, about the size of your fist. And they would classify those as interior rooms just because, you can't really see a whole lot, but it does afford a little bit of light in your room coming in. There are also virtual balconies on Oasis, or not Oasis, but
Ovation.
Yeah, some Royal Caribbean ships that will actually have real-time views from the outside on a virtual video screen in your room that will mimic what a balcony view would look like. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is very cool.
Yes.
And I think that's going to catch on with more cruise lines as it goes forward.
Yes. And, I guess the way that cruise lines are doing their rooms now definitely evolved. And another category is promenade views. So some of the ships that have promenades in the interior now will also have interior promenade views. So those are labeled as interior cabins as well. Little bit price difference, but still no outside views. So it's still considered an interior.
Is there a huge difference interior from one cruise line to the other, or are they all relatively the same on interiors?
You're going to notice that they're all relatively the same. One thing you will notice that on Disney Cruise Lines, across all of their cruise staterooms, they will all have bathrooms with bathtubs, and they will have split bathrooms.
Even on the interiors?
Even on the interiors. So you will have a room with a sink and a bathtub, and then another room with a sink and a toilet. So that is one of the perks to having a Disney cruise stateroom. But Otherwise, across most of the fleets, an interior room will only get you a small stand-up shower. So if you're traveling with, infants or something like that need the bath, then you might want to consider a different option.
So don't skip out on the interiors. Definitely an option, especially if you are, like I said, not staying in the room or you're very budget conscious. Interior rooms could be a great choice for you.
Absolutely.
All right, now moving up to the next class. From interiors, you go to, I suppose,
Ocean
view staterooms, which you have a view of the ocean, obviously, but no balcony.
Correct. Sometimes, depending on the type of cruise ship you were on, some of the older cruise ships have smaller rooms, whereas some of the newer ships, the ocean view rooms actually are quite nice. They're just the only thing difference between them and a balcony room is you have a balcony versus just a window, which,
we've had these also.
We have. And, if you're not going to spend that much time in your room, there's really no need to have the extra outdoor space. So they definitely have the traditional window. One thing I have noticed on some ships is they have panoramic ocean view rooms, which actually include a floor-to-ceiling window in your stateroom, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, that's nice. I've not seen that before.
Mm-hmm. They do.
Which cruise line is that on mostly, or is it all of them? Or
no, mostly I've seen them on Royal. Although, I think on some of the newer ships, you might see larger windows come into play.
Gotcha.
Yes, because if you think about a cruise ship ocean view cabin, it's mostly a round window that's like a porthole. It's just larger, and it's typically either behind the bed or along the the edge of the ship, of course, but the configuration of the cabin can vary slightly. Again, you are also just going to have a stand-up shower unless you're on a Disney ship. So keep that in mind.
We have had the portholes before as well as the view rooms, but we've never had the floor to ceiling. So
no, we've never done a panoramic. We've done, porthole interiors. We've done no window interiors a lot. We've had some interiors that actually are, quite spacious with a couch and a table and a long vanity. And then we've had interiors that were the bed butts right up to the bathroom. So I had to crawl into bed every night. And if I had to get up in the middle of the night, I usually had to either scoot him out of the way or just sit on the edge of his legs while I tried to get out of the bed.
And good luck with that, because I don't move once I go to sleep.
He doesn't. So, but hey, we made it work.
We made it work.
That was on Empress of the Seas. Do you remember that cruise?
I do. I loved Empress of the Seas. Was a fantastic cruise ship.
I did. It was the smallest cabin we have ever stayed in.
Smallest ship we've ever been on.
Smallest ship we've ever been on, but it was a fantastic cruise.
It was so amazing.
Empress is no longer in service. Tear roll down my cheek.
No, did they scrap that one? I believe, didn't they?
She was
or did they sell it?
I don't actually remember if they sold it or if they scrapped it.
Empress was a casualty of COVID.
Yes, but she was little. She was itty bitty.
Oh, I enjoyed that ship very much, though.
Yes, I did too. Now we're moving up to the most popular category of stateroom. That would be your balcony.
The balcony, not
or veranda.
Oh, the veranda. Balcony, veranda. What's the official name for it?
Either it's different cruise lines definitely use different terminology for these types. You can have veranda, balcony, whatever you want to call it. It's where you have an outside to the inside. And there are different classes of these as well, but among your cruise ships, these are going to be the most abundant available. You're going to have the most balcony ships on these vessels.
We have had many balconies.
Yes, we have.
I do enjoy balconies. I like going out there at night or early in the morning. I
like to hopefully pick, and you don't always know what side you're going to be on when it comes to porting at a port. So if you're docking at a pier, I like to be on the side of the pier so that I can catch pier runners if there are any.
You're one of those.
I'm one of those people. I like to watch them from below as they're running in or waving by as we leave.
And I could care less about that. Could care less.
But no, that's me. So while there are several different types of balconies, I'll go over a few. Now, your traditional balconies are going to be just that. You're going to have an outdoor space. It's going to be, 50 to 60 square feet, and it's going to have a clear partition where you can sit and look and see to the outside, to the water, etc. Those are going to be your traditional balconies. Across the different cruise lines, you're going to see a white wall balcony, which basically just means that the partition below the actual balcony part is going to be solid or covered. You're not going to be able to sit down and look out. You're going to have to stand to see over that white wall. There are cove balconies, which is like you're still going to have a balcony space, but you're going to have to stand up again, and it's going to be kind of enclosed. You're not going to be able to see your neighbor or anything like that. There are the infinite balconies, which is some of the newest technology to come out of both Royal and Celebrity, and those are fantastic.
That's where the balcony actually becomes part of the room, right?
Yes. You have some sliding doors that you can close off to your actual stateroom, but you can open those completely up, and then there is a slide that comes down from the top that opens up to the outside air. So you still have your balcony, and the bottom is clear so you can see, but there is no separation between your balcony and your stateroom at that point. It's just all one big space.
But it also gives you some privacy from the people next door because your balcony is actually part of your room.
Yes, it is. And I don't think
we need some pictures of those.
Yes, we do.
To show.
I know, we do. We need to find some good pictures to put up there, but
maybe on the blog.
Maybe we can put those on the blog if you check back. And also, with the balconies, you have on the Oasis class ships over on Royal Caribbean, you're going to have Boardwalk and Central Park balconies. Now, these are going to be balconies again to the outside, but they're not going to be direct ocean views. These are going to be views of the Boardwalk or the Central Park interior parts of the ship.
We have never had either one of these. Your parents have had both, and they have liked both.
They have. They liked the Boardwalk view exceptionally well because they felt like they still had enough of a view to the outside and could see the ocean, but they, and still had a lot of privacy, but they liked looking at the hustle and bustle that went on at the Boardwalk daily too.
But they didn't care too much for the
Central Park. They said it was okay, but there just wasn't a lot going on.
And Central Park's normally pretty quiet.
It is very quiet. They did say that neither one of them offered any noise from the outside. So even when they were completely closed off, they still felt like it was very quiet. Nothing really bothered them as far as noise from below to keep them awake or anything like that.
So, yeah, the Central Park area on the Oasis class is normally, it's a mellow area.
Yes.
At all times of the day, I've never really seen it loud or hustle and bustle. I don't know if it's just the way that the sound escapes there or what it is. It just always seems pretty laid back.
It is. Plus, there's no real hub for shows or anything like that. On the Boardwalk, you've got the Aqua Theater where, they have shows and practices and all kinds of stuff.
Well, that's about to change on Icon.
Yes. But we still have another new Oasis class coming in Correct. Utopia. So that'll still be available on there as well.
Which is booking now.
Yes. All right. And our last category is going to encompass a lot of the upper class of stateroom accommodations, and that is your suite category.
Suite categories.
Yes. Now you're going to have junior suites, grand suites, royal suites, loft suites, ultimate family suites. I mean, there are an abundance of suite types for everyone.
Take all of your money suites, break your bank suites, max out your credit card suite.
All of that.
All of that. Those all exist.
They do all exist. There is a mini suite option on some Norwegian ships, which is pretty cool.
Is that similar to a junior suite?
It's actually
smaller.
It's smaller than a junior suite. Typically, a junior suite on Royal Caribbean is going to be about 1.5 times the size of a normal cabin.
We have had a junior suite.
Yes, a mini suite is still going to be kind of a thin balcony type cabin, but it is going to be elongated. You're going to have different amenities, which is pretty cool. And I think Princess also has these as well.
We had the junior suite on Harmony.
We did have Harmony and Independence.
Yes. And I did not think it would make that big of a difference, but the extra space, especially at that time, we had a young child. It gave her plenty of room to run around and play and enjoy the extra space. So the junior suites I did like.
I did like them too.
I don't know that I would need any more.
Also, typically suites come with bathtubs.
Correct.
So that was nice to have a bathtub to give the kid a bath. But when we had her first cruise that we went on, we actually had a regular balcony room with a regular shower, and I just sat her in the shower and used the handheld, and she did fine.
Yeah.
But some people, have a little harder time. She was also mobile, so it wasn't that difficult. She could sit, she could walk, Correct. She could stand. So,
but the extra space in a junior suite is nice. I have not stayed in anything above a junior suite, so I don't have any firsthand knowledge of anything.
No, we prefer quantity over quality, I guess you could say. We would rather go on 10 cruises than one. And some of these suite prices are, astronomical. Especially, I was just pricing out the Ultimate Family Townhouse for a future cruise on Icon of the Seas. And it was upwards of, 25 to 30,000 per person for the week. And that's just a little absurd to me.
That's insane.
If you have disposable income like that, then by all means, do what you want to do. But for the average Joe, that's just not going to be something that's in their budget. But they're very cool.
They are nice. I mean, you do get what you pay for. Some of these suites, especially on Royal, you even do get your own
butler,
concierge.
Butler or genie, as they call it, where they'll come around and, bring you drinks in your room or prepare room service for you. And a lot of times the higher
for $60,000 a week, I better have somebody feed me.
And they do come with, I think, maybe internet for the week, different.
Some of them, I think, include drink packages too. And
they may. And I know they include, if you want to go rock climbing, you can have the rock climbing wall to yourself or the flow rider to yourself. So there's things that you can get, but there's preferred seating at the shows. You don't necessarily have to reserve the shows.
You get automatic seating.
But still, for $25K, no.
Yeah, no. So the point here is that there is a cruise. Just like we spoke earlier, that there's a cruise ship for everybody, for every flavor, for every style. There's a cruise stateroom category for everybody.
For everybody, for every taste.
For every budget.
Yes. And if you're the kind of person that likes to spend a lot of time, reading and want a quiet space out on the balcony, get a balcony cabin and have that extra space to enjoy. But if you're like us and you just want to go to the water slides and the pool and hang out and do trivia and this and that and the other, then, an interior or even the ocean view is going to be just fine.
One other thing to consider here, though, regardless of your budget or what category stateroom you think you may want, sometimes location is just as important as what type of room you have.
This is true.
Normally, the lower decks are not going to be as comfortable in certain conditions.
True.
You also got to get some noise and clanking from engines more in the lower decks.
Yes.
Some of the
midship, you're going to feel less rocking. You also want to pay attention if you are above nightclubs or below nightclubs.
If you get motion sickness too, I mean, some areas.
The front or the back of the ship. If you're low, stay away from the back because you will get some engine noises occasionally. We elect usually to get midship close to the elevators.
Close to the elevator. That is an important tip, Robin.
Yes.
Do you want to spend half of your cruise walking up and down a hall looking for your room?
Yes, we typically like to get close to the elevator, midship on a middle deck that is sandwiched between other decks that are residential only.
You mentioned that.
Yes.
Do you want to be right below the theater or the nightclub or the casino? Sometimes the ships, do have noise protection and things, but these areas get very, very loud. We know firsthand.
Should I tell the story?
Oh, let's tell the story.
Okay.
Oh, my Lord.
So back in 2012, we took a cruise on the Carnival Valor. Great ship. Nothing to say about Carnival Valor. But I was very pregnant. They cut you off at about 6 months of pregnancy as to when you can cruise. And I was about 23 weeks. So I was right.
I wasn't pregnant and this still bothered me.
But needless to say, I had trouble getting comfortable. Well, we had a cruise room that just happened to be right above the casino. And every night outside of the casino, they had a band playing. Now, normally music doesn't bother me. I'm fine. But this was a Southern rock tribute band and they were Asian. Nothing against that.
She's not joking.
But, when they started singing Journey and or Seat Home Alhambra.
Yeah, it was Seat Home Alhambra until 1:30 in the morning.
I was about to go down there and punch them all.
They were a good band. They were talented, but they were Asian and they did have the Asian accents. And they played Seat Home Alhambra until 2:00 in the morning.
I could hear every drum beat, every cymbal burst, every syllable that they sung, I could hear. And oh my goodness, I couldn't sleep. I was just mad.
Again, if you're one of the people that stays out all night and wants to drink and party, this may not be an issue for you.
We were very lucky because Carnival actually stepped in and helped take care of us. They found us another stateroom on a different level, and they were very accommodating with trying to get me comfortable, which was great.
But the point of the story,
this was very early on in our cruising kind of saga. We've done a lot of cruises since then and learned a lot, but you definitely want to pay attention to location. I prefer to pick a room that is sandwiched between other floors of cabins. So
just a personal preference.
Personal preference.
Close to an elevator.
Try to choose midship, close to an elevator. Yes.
I prefer a balcony, but if it's just astronomical that week, or
I find an amazing deal, do find amazing deals all the time for interior cabins. Then
and that is a great segue, Robin.
Yes.
So why don't we go ahead and segue into the deal of the week?
Let's do it.
It's time for the deal.
All right, Robin, do we have a deal of the week, or do we have deals of the week again? You've been having a problem with that.
We're going to have to change this whole segment because I can't just choose one deal.
Stop it. Just choose one.
But I can't. Okay. So our first deal of the week is on Princess Cruises. We are going to go on a 3-night Pacific coastal cruise. Now, this leaves out of Vancouver and goes to San Francisco. So it's a pretty short cruise. This leaves on the 16th of October of this year for a family of 4 in an interior cabin, $852.
$852 each.
No, total.
$852 total for 4 people.
For 4 people, 3 nights on Crown Princess.
Shut the front door.
Shut the front door.
No, that's a really good price. That's insane.
It's a good price. This next price is even better.
No.
Well, it's not $852, but for what you get, it's a better deal.
Okay. Well, then let's do the deals of the week number 2.
Number 2 is a 7-night Alaska northbound. Now, when doing Alaska, you've got 3 different choices, basically. You've got round trip out of Vancouver or Seattle, and that's going to take you 7 days up and back. Or you can do a northbound or a southbound cruise. The north or the southbound cruise are going to get you longer itineraries, and you're going to get to see more of Alaska and do more ports. So I suggest if you're doing Alaska, do a north or a southbound if possible. So with that being said, this is a 7-night Alaska northbound leaving July 30th of this month, like soon. So get with me if this interests you. But you're going to leave from Vancouver. You're going to cruise the Inside Passage. You're going to have port stops in Ketchikan, Juneau, and Skagway before visiting Glacier Bay National Park, the College Fjord,
Should.
Fjord,
Should.
and you will disembark in Whittier, Alaska, which will be a segue into Anchorage for your flights home. For a 2-person interior room, 2 people, 7 days, $1,200.
Alaska for $1,200.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know how many people have priced Alaska cruises. This is a fantastic price.
This is a last-minute deal, truly a last-minute deal. If you want to take the whole family for 4 people, an interior room going to Alaska for 7 nights, $1,918.
That's an incredible price for Alaska. Alaska is usually one of your more pricey cruises.
Yes, because the port fees
Are expensive.
are pretty expensive for these ports. And you think about all of these things that you're getting to see. You're going into Glacier National Park, which is, you're going to see glaciers up close, which is great. Now, this is on New Amsterdam of Holland America, which is, some people regard Holland America as the best way to see Alaska because their ships are a little bit smaller. They can go a little bit further into some of these inlets and passages. So holler at me if you want to take care of this deal. Let's go, Charles.
That's a great, yeah. I would love to. This sells this month.
Yeah.
So this is a last minute deal. If you're interested in this, head on over to OceanEars Travel. Go ahead and fill out the contact information, and we can get you on the ship.
I sure can. I can help you with flights and everything as well, transfers, and get you on this cruise.
So, okay. Well, that's why you had deals of the week this week. I get it now.
I did. Yeah.
All right, Robin. We had some trivia last week.
We did.
What was the trivia last week?
The trivia last week was Royal Caribbean's first ship only held 700 passengers, which is kind of crazy considering that their newest ship is going to, hold 7,000.
Close, girl.
Yeah. So my question was, what was the first ship to sail under Royal Caribbean?
Boat of the Sea.
Boat of the Seas now. Sea of the Seas, I think was what you said too.
And I was wrong again.
Those are wrong.
I was wrong again. How many is that now? 0 for 8?
Actually, the Of the Seas didn't come along until much later.
So I was double wrong.
You were double wrong. The first cruise ship to sail under Royal Caribbean was the Song of Norway.
Song of Norway.
Yes, and it held 700 passengers.
And what was the fate of said ship?
It was sold. I'm sure scrapped by now. It probably became a casino boat at some point. But nevertheless, she does not exist now.
All right. So there you go. I was wrong again. 0 for 8. Did anybody else get it right?
We actually had quite a few people. We have 12 people get it right this time.
Okay, fantastic.
And they wrote it in. So even if they used Google, good for you.
Well, there you go. Don't cheat on the trivia questions, people.
I have another trivia.
Do you have trivia this week?
I do have trivia.
Okay, let's go to trivia.
It's time for trivia at OceanEars. Trivia. It's time for trivia.
Wow.
Still never get used to that.
Wow. I just want to play that over and over.
Please.
Wow.
Wow. All right, trivia this week. Okay.
I'm ready. I'm going to get this one.
I don't think so.
Let's do it. I got this one. Let's do it.
I give you a hint, and I might give you a hint on this one, then you'll probably get it. But
Oh, no, I got it already.
everybody else. But anyway,
The answer is A.
it's not multiple choice. You're going to have to write this one in, but okay. So when ships are newly built and they are turned over to the cruise line, they usually bring on someone special to christen it. They usually call this person the godmother. And most ships have godmothers. However, in 2015, this was broken and the first godfather was named. Now, it was the godfather of the Norwegian Encore, and it was 2015. Who was he?
Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando is the godfather.
Well, he may be the godfather, but he's the godfather of the Encore.
He's going to make you an offer you can't refuse.
No. Just no,
I'm gonna
Charles.
make you an offer you can't refuse.
Just no. And take you to the mattresses.
So did I get this one wrong?
You got that one wrong.
Take this to the mattresses. That's it. What? Holy Jeezies.
This went off the rails.
Yeah, it's family podcast, Robin. I already told you that once.
Golly.
It'll make you an offer you can't refuse.
That's my clue. That's the only clue I'm going to give you. All right.
Oh, that was the clue?
Maybe.
I said Marlon Brando already.
I know. You're wrong. Guys, he's never right.
I'm not wrong. Marlon Brando is the Godfather. I don't care what she says.
All right. Well, it's been fantastic here.
Do we have anything else, Robin?
That's it.
Nothing.
It's
already went off the rails.
It has went off the rails, and that is okay.
So yeah, I see nothing wrong with that.
So if you're listening to this or watching this, please comment and give us some ideas of what you would like to hear, or if you would like to, tell us some things that you're, excited for on your next cruise, or if you're going to Disney or Universal soon, we'd love to hear from you.
If you're interested in coming on and being a guest, send us a message. We're looking to have guests. We would love to have a guest.
We would love to have a guest on and chit chat a little bit, and you can put up with our crazy antics. I think we'll do great. So do you have anything else, Caribbean Chuck?
Head on over to OceanEars Travel for all of your needs. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube or Spotify.
YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you watch or listen to your podcast. We would love to have it. Invite your friends.
Go ahead and give that 5-star. And if you feel obligated or feeling froggy, go ahead and write that review as well. That helps us very much on Apple. So if you could do that, that would be great. We really enjoy this and we appreciate you all. Do you have anything else?
I don't. And friends, we'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. This has been OceanEars, the podcast. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you leave. Visit us on our socials at OceanEars Travel and on the web at oceanearstravel.com. Until next time, friends, it's been magical.